So when I first came to Australia, like it wasn't fun at all. Because I came with $2,000 in my hand. Now I had like no experience working. I had no sort of like good like a degree or diploma to sort of like get like a decent job. So
Mm.
my first job was washing dishes in a cafe in a restaurant in Burwood. So I had to like study full time as well, and I could barely speak English. So there's no way I could get like a really good job. So the first job, like washing dishes behind the kitchen, and I was like, wow, this is not what I expected. Like like when I saw online on websites and stuff, like it's really cool. Australia is amazing. It's gonna be full of joy and happiness. Like got off the plane, boom, okay. I don't really understand what people say. Like, I don't know what to do right now. Well, where should I start? This is gonna be so much like fun and challenging at the same time. Lot of pain. That's what I realized when I first came. Yeah, even the parents, like, you sure really want to do this? Like, we're going to be spending a lot of money on you and don't stuff it up. They had to sell their house. They had to take a loan against the house to put money in my account. Because back then, to get a student visa, you had to have, I think, more than $60,000 in your account. So dad got a loan against the house we were living and put that money in my bank account to get the student visa for
Damn.
4 years, and I couldn't stop it up. He's like, dude, this is all the money I work for, and do you not stuff it up and come back home like a crybaby? Like I was like, okay, I got this. Don't worry. When I first came here, I was like, ooh, maybe I should go back now. It's not what I expected. Holy moly, like, yeah, it was full on, but I was like, nah, like you just gotta, go through the pain and do all the hard work and let's get to a certain level and then enjoy it, you know. And that was my plan. That's actually a very good question. Because I was sort of like looking at all the subjects I'd done in Sri Lanka with year 11. I did biology, physics, chemistry, and English literature, which I was really suck at. And what else I did? I did math, but I didn't like any of it. I just like really hated it. And sort of like asking myself what I'm really passionate about, like doing in general. Started thinking a lot like let's see what people like about myself. So sort of like figure out a lot of people when they break up with their partners or when they have a fight with their mom or dad, they just like call me up straight away. They're like, oh, can I talk to you? Can I come to your house and meet up with you? And like all the time, and because they felt really good talking to like me about what they're going through, like all the drama they experience, in their relationships.
Mm.
And I actually felt great, sort of like listening to them and talking to all that sort of stuff. It just happened naturally. And I realized from that's something I'm passionate about doing, sort of like listening to people, understanding like what they're going through, and then sort of like coming up with some sort of strategy to sort of like solve it. And I was like, okay, well, welfare, social work, sort of like matches with what I'm sort of like capable of doing in general with people. Let's give that a go. It was so funny because I didn't know what to wear and stuff. So I had like a full suit on with a tie and stuff, not knowing what to expect. Now there's like three kids like swearing, "You effing this, you effing that," just jumping out of the house where I was meant to be doing my placement. and I was walking in with a suit on, and they literally like looked at me, they started throwing rocks and stuff. In the happiest days, I don't know this person. Someone's at the door, it's gotta be a salesperson, and like yelling, screaming at me. And so the staff came out. They're like, "Oh, who are you?" I'm like, "Well, I'm the student from this type. It's my first day. I'm here to do my placement. Or you don't wear suits to when you come into the house. You need to go back home and get changed and come back." Because I was born in Sri Lanka, I went back on a holiday to sort of see my family and stuff with a couple of friends from Australia, and we went to the shops and like sort of test out different drinks and fruits and stuff. We found this really unique fruit, and I knew about it, but my friends who from Australia, they didn't know anything about it. But when they tasted it, when they actually had the fruit and stuff, they're like, "Oh wow, this is very different. Tastes really nice. Well, I reckon I want to buy a bit more and take home, take back to Australia." And sort of like clicked. I was like, that's people actually responded well to this fruit, and what if you can sort of like make a sort of a drink out of it? It's I have a feeling it could go really well in the Australian market because of this uniqueness. I actually got the fruit on me. I'll show you. It's called I don't know if you heard of it. It's called wood apple. That's what the fruit looks like.
It's like a
And I don't know if you see it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's like a very rare fruit called wood apple. Grows mainly in Sri Lanka, India, and there was another country, Bangladesh as well. So when you open it, so it's like a shell,
Yeah.
but inside the shell there's like a chocolate color pulp in it. It's like when you break a coconut, there's like that white pulp.
Mm-hmm.
So like that, when you all break the shell, there's like brown pulp inside of it. So people used to like eat it.
What does it
in
taste
Sri
like?
Lanka. It tastes like when you mix, how to say, when you mix a bit of banana with coffee and chocolate, I would say. That's and a bit of peach at the same time. And yeah, people mix that with a bit of sugar or a bit of honey and stuff and eat it. Or like some of because Sri Lanka's mainly the population is like Buddhist, and there's a lot of monks sort of they meditate and stuff in jungles,
Mm-hmm.
and they sort of like used to live off this fruit when they sort of like live in jungles and not coming to the towns and stuff. Yeah, so I was like, I wanna see if I can like introduce a drink, like a wood apple drink to Australia and see what happens. So that's the drink I'm introducing. The raw sip, the personality I'm trying to bring through the brand is bring that rawness back to the society. Like a lot of people eat processed food and stuff. I want to bring that the rawness, like when you're in a jungle, you pick that raw fruit straight out of the tree. So I want to bring that rawness back to the industrial way of living, and that's why I created a raw sip, like sip as if you drink. No artificial flavors, no artificial colors. It's gluten free and vegan Australia certified as well. No added sugar, less than 5% sugar. So that sugar comes from the actual fruit. Here we go.
Do you shake it before you drink it?
Yeah. You gotta give it a bit of shake and then I love it. I'm not saying it just because I'm just saying it to market it. I can't sort of like talk to people about something that they don't really enjoy drinking or doing. So like I say, it comes down to passion. If you're passionate about this fruit and the drink, then you can actually sell it. Otherwise, people are going to find that out straight away. If you're being dodgy or if you're trying to sell something that doesn't really help anything or anyone, people these days, they sense it straight away. And you're not going to make any money. You're not going to go too far with it. So I'm trying to bring in this wood apple drink. No one had it before. No one tried it before. Like, I don't even know if I'm going to actually make a profit. But I was so excited to put it out there and then see what happened. That's what made me happy, not the money side of it. When I first started, it was really tough. I finally sort of managed to get into the country after passing all those regulations. Because when it comes to food in Australia, the regulations are quite strict. So I didn't start it straight away when I found the product. And I had to save money because I didn't want to take a loan. Because I knew, like, if I take a loan and try to launch a new product that people never had before, I was gonna fail big time and we'd end up with like a big debt that I would have to pay. So then finally launched it, brought it into the country, and started pushing it mainly like by started going into farmers markets because that was the cheapest way I found. So you would go to work Monday to Friday, come home, and 6 in the morning you gotta set up your marquee, make sure everything's ready, and then put everything in the car with your S key and everything. Go to the market, set up the marquee, the tables, advertising boards, and you do it all by yourself. There's no one, and you put drinks and people coming in. You just like free samples, come and try it. Doing all that. I loved it, and I wasn't making any money at all. I just loved the whole journey because I learned a lot about why people buy things they want in their life, and why people say no to my product. Like, what's the reason behind it? Let's try and analyze the people who say no to my product. Like, that's the key to success, I would say. And finally, like after I think 8 to 9 months, I got into a few cafes and stuff, and then from there, slowly building it up. I would say mainly following your passion. Like, once you figure out this is what drives you, this passion, and then once you tap into your passion, you just gotta commercialize it. Like I said earlier, that's the only way you're gonna make money, and you sort of like serve people as well with your service and product. Just spend a lot of time sort of like figuring out your passion, and that's the key. Because if you try and chase the money, like from what I've seen, like it's not going to be successful. Like, you're going to regret it down the track. Because when I'm like 80, 85, I want to look back and say, hey, I didn't just chase the money and just didn't do anything that I always want to do in my life. I sort of like tick every single box. I can sort of die happily. That's what I want to do. Like, not just like stuck in the system, work 9 to 5, not following your passion, not doing anything that makes you happy, just to pay off the bills and the mortgage. To me, it's not living. You just like being a slave to the system. That's why I was like, I'd rather take the risk. Yeah, money, you can always make it, you can lose it, but the experience you get when you're young, like, that's something you're never gonna get when you're old. Like, the risk I took like 2 or 3 years ago, spending 50,000 or 60,000 on a business. Like, I can't take that risk in 10 years' time. I could be a whole different person. I could have kids with a family. To young people, that's what I can say. Just follow your passion, take a risk while you're young.